Hey, what's going on? Ryan here with Intersection Records, and today I'm talking about my favorite YouTube channels, music YouTube channels. During the pandemic, I worked from home for like 16 months, and really wasn't until then that I discovered YouTube at all. I of course watched videos randomly on YouTube, but didn't realize there was channels, didn't realize there was music shows, talk shows. I'm going to give you a list of 15 or so channels that I love, that I watch almost daily or daily. First one, JCM Led Zeppelin Stories. So this guy, about a year ago, I don't know his name, started a channel where he just talks about Zeppelin, like, the making of In Through the Outdoor, the making of Presence, or post Led Zeppelin, from 80, through the 80s. It's a great show. He is a writer and guitarist in his own right, does awesome videos showing himself play guitar. Keep that up, sir. 5 Watt World with Keith Williams. It's a show about the guitar. He does shows on the history of the Les Paul Jr., or the history of the Jaguar, or a history of the Telecaster or Stratocaster. Little mini short histories of instruments. He talks gear as well. Keith Williams show, 5 Watt World's awesome. Know Your Gear with Philip McKnight. Phil McKnight talks about just gear again, about new guitars, inexpensive guitars, producers, manufacturers like Gibson, and from Gibson to big brands that you'll never know about unless he discovers them. He talks about quality of build and what makes a guitar nice and what to look for in a new guitar. Another gear show, Tone Talk with Mark Huzansky and Dave Friedman. Friedman owns Friedman Amplification in Los Angeles. He makes amps and guitars. They'll bring a manufacturer on, a guy from PV, or a guy from Paul Reed Smith or whatever, and do interviews with guys, interviews with guitar techs, interviews with musicians, talking gear, talking ins and outs and tube amplification. Awesome show. Kenny Aronoff sessions. Kenny Aronoff was the drummer for Mellencamp for 20 years. He's been with John Fogerty for 25 years. He's a session hired gun type of guy. He's also played live with Chickenfoot, amongst other people. He's played with everybody. His show is new. It's awesome. He interviews artists for an hour plus. He's fantastic. His show is great. Soul Night Live, SOAL. Sean Toner does a show. He's a guitar player. He interviews artists too. Lots of progressive rock. He did an interview recently with Steve Howe. Just really informative when a musician can ask another musician questions. You get some really good interviews. That Pedal Show with Dan Steinhardt and Mick Taylor. Every Monday they do a live show talking pedals, guitar pedals, talking gear, talking amplifiers, doing A/B contests between, different gear and amps to see, maybe they'll do a show on delay pedals or overdrive pedals. Fantastic show, That Pedal Show. Justin Hawkins rides again. Justin Hawkins is the lead singer and guitarist for the band The Darkness. Check him out on the Taylor Hawkins tribute at Wembley Stadium, where he kind of fronts a version, Wolfgang Van Halen doing Van Halen covers. He's doing the lead vocals on that with Dave Grohl on drums. Pretty awesome. Justin Hawkins rides again. Just talks music. He is funny. It's great. The Prog Corner with Scott. Prog Corner is pretty cool. He knows a lot about progressive rock, stuff that I've never even heard of. All In with Narada Michael Walden. Narada Walden played on Jeff Beck's Wired album. He was in Mahavishnu Orchestra replacing Billy Cobham. He's just a great guy. He's so positive. His interviews are fantastic. He's a producer as well. Produced for Aretha Franklin, amongst others. Kind of her Freeway of Love comeback in the 80s. He did all that stuff, and this composer and songwriter. All In with Narada Michael Walden. Anthony Edwards show. He talks a lot of progressive rock, a lot of jazz fusion. He's a funny guy. He played drums in 2000 with Robert Plant. He's a musician. He's a great guy. Talks a lot. Just goes in tangents, but really is smart when it comes to progressive rock fusion, some jazz stuff as well. The Sessions panel with Don Famularo. He's Dom is as a drummer. He brings musicians on, Ron Carter and Chick Corea, and has long interviews with these guys. And again, a drummer talking to other musicians about practicing and work ethic and all these things. Just so cool. Check out the Sessions panel. River Docs. So River Docs, he does little mini bios on guys, but he doesn't do all the obvious choices. He'll do a show on Leon Russell. He'll do a show on Dickie Betts. He'll do a show on Toy Caldwell from Marshall Tucker, or Steve Marriott, or Peter Frampton. He kind of goes down the road less traveled, and I've been inspired by it. In fact, I'll be working on a show, and then all of a sudden, River Docs will come out with a similar or same topic. It's like he's reading my mind. Keep it up, River Docs. Rick Beato. He's got 3 million subscribers. Rick Beato's interviews with Pat Metheny, Sting, just Brian May. Rick is one of the great guitar players too. These guys, he's asking questions to musicians that are so smart. I think these guys want to be on his show because they know that he can kick out more publicity for them when their albums come up and so forth. Rick Beato. And then lastly, Pete Pardo and Sea of Tranquility. He's been inspiring to me, to say the least. It's really why I started my channel. Ranking albums, talking reviews, all his shows from his progressive rock night on Tuesday nights, Hudson Valley Squares on Monday nights. All of his panel shows are so good. Sea of Tranquility with Pete Pardo. Subscribe to my channel if you want to. Peace out. We'll talk later.